A game that was definitely highly anticipated and did deliver is BONELAB. BONELAB is $39.99 USD, which can kind of be on the brink edge of what people want to possibly purchase or they don't want to purchase. Now, number one, people will purchase this game if they just trust what stress level 0 is, meaning if you played Boneworks or if you just seen all the hype around the internet, or if you're just a huge VR stan and you're able to really know like, yo, this is a massive investment. Boneworks has been years later and people still play Boneworks. Now, BONELAB, in my opinion, is still a port. This is something that people do disagree with. A lot of articles have also shown these types of specs, also saying that they didn't necessarily reinvent the wheel, nor was it really held into a case where they were trying to completely start from fresh. They used a lot of the groundworks, a lot of the specs, a lot of the foundation, and everything that we're very familiar with. Mods are very limited. Price is pretty high. There is sandbox, arena, your campaign, and it starts you off directly into the campaign, thus giving you that immersion as soon as you start. BONELAB, in my opinion, is still the best game possibly ever released for this year and possibly ever right now for a standalone VR headset. Some can say that it under delivers as far as graphic content if you're just playing standalone. In my opinion, I think it feels just like PC VR. Honestly, it's very hard to really tell difference unless you're really into the campaign, where it takes massive performance to really gather in those types of graphics. But overall, it is the same thing. It even performs just like Boneworks. Sometimes some things get kind of glitchy at times. Sometimes like climbing certain essentials are not as immersed as you want it to be. It can be a little bit difficult. And if you're a beginning VR user, this game is going to be very tough for you to understand. There's a lot of puzzles, a lot of action, and learning all the controls and learning the fluidity of how this game is played can be very tough for you. So learning to jump into VR in general without getting too nauseous and understanding these physics and understanding just the correlation of everything, that will really help you out in trying to gather in this game. The campaign is amazing, and sandbox takes it to an even higher level as far as like just being able to grasp onto this much of a sandbox mode with a standalone headset. BONELAB still crushes all the competition in general just due to the fact of its performance and what it actually does offer as a game and a platform, and just put on the Quest 2 and just jump right into this game. The fact that I'm able to do that these days is just so fun because Boneworks has been so fun creating content throughout the years. Now I can just jump in and get BONELAB. In my opinion, I don't think BONELAB had a high launch execution, meaning I think it was much more, I guess, highly marketed, over anticipated, possibly even almost overrated to some, as far as the launch essential. I think because that price kind of really stops certain people, or what I feel is that people that are not really highly into the VR culture just felt like they would stand back for a bit for maybe a sale on this game, or they just didn't trust it enough to purchase with that kind of money. I think this game should have possibly been within the $25 at the highest $30 mark. That would have been great, but $40, you're paying more for the brand than the actual performance in this game. Everything is fun though, from gunplay to gameplay to grabbing and just what BONELAB really does for everybody, if I were to just break it down into a simplistic nature, is that BONELAB gives you that escapism from reality, like legitimately, and allows for you to just have fun, swing. There's bats, there's weapons, there's variations of weapons that you can utilize and everything that you can grab around you, and just being able to clock out and just jump into a game that really doesn't have any rules, and you could spawn whatever you want, anything that you want really coming around. And this helps for gamers and creators at the same time, because creating content has never been so much easier now, because being able to do all that in Sandbox and what they deliver in this version of Sandbox is pretty dope. I literally can create content all day night now, from comedy to fun action to engaging things that can really help out with this game and just show the true essence of everything from different levels and all the sandboxes and mods, arenas, and parkour and more. All in all, BONELAB is the way to go if you're just looking for something that's gonna really complete that VR experience. It's not perfect, but it's definitely worth that $40 in my opinion. Now, like what I said though, I will still go by the word that it is technically kind of a copy and paste of Boneworks. It's just a little bit watered down, obviously, because it's not PC VR. But when you put on that Quest 2 and you're into BONELAB and you're kind of new, or if you don't really notice too much of the dynamic structure of PC VR, you're gonna go into this game, you're gonna be like, whoa. So comparing this to PCVR is already a disadvantage, so I'll never compare it to PCVR. Just jumping into BONELAB as a standalone is incredible without even thinking about there is a such thing as a Boneworks. The way that this game is groundbreaking and game changing and just everything for virtual reality is exactly what it needs as far as gameplay and just immersion and experience. Something that you definitely cannot sleep on. But BONELAB, is it a go? Absolutely. $39.99 USD. Can be a little steep for some, but man, if you trust them, you know exactly they're gonna have more updates, more mods, and more things going on internally that are gonna make the experience even 10 times better going forward, as Boneworks is still great. Let me know what's up. Y'all already rocked BONELAB? Have y'all beat it? Are you hoping for more mods? Y'all let me know, man. Appreciate y'all. Peace.